Alright, hello, welcome back to the podcast. Once again, everybody, PayPal and Patreon links are both down below for anybody who wants to support me. Only do so if you actually can. So time to run through the food self-sufficiency map. Starting with the highest category, countries whose food production or food production capacity is well above and beyond what their population requires. Usually something like over 150%. This group includes the US. For example, different estimates vary, but in general, with a agricultural food production capacity of somewhere probably between 600 and 700 million people's worth, and obviously the actual amount produced can vary by year. However, the US population is only a bit above half that amount, so it does result in an excessive amount of food exported out to the world at large. Other nations in this group, with similar ratios, some greater, some less, include Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Canada, Australia. Uruguay shares the same extremely fertile land as Argentina, and also has an exceedingly low population of less than 4 million. Thailand, Bulgaria, Kazakhstan, Paraguay, at least formerly, their agricultural capability has been sort of getting destroyed. Hungary, the Baltics, surprisingly, though again only because their population is so low. And that's it for that category. Now we phase down into just the general exporter category. Countries whose food output in relation to their population size is not excessively enormous, but is still decently above their population requirements. This includes Brazil, although Brazil is a special case, as this is only because it is constantly destroying the Amazon rainforest to expand its agricultural land. We then, in this category, also have France, Finland, Poland, Romania, the first country from Africa getting to appear on the list, Zambia, Myanmar, Vietnam, although with their population about to cross over 100 million, they will be dropping down in the near future. Cambodia, Guyana and Suriname, Germany, though just by a bit, Denmark, the Czech Republic, Austria, Slovakia, Croatia, Serbia, and Moldova, and until just this year, Pakistan. Then we go down into the category of nations that are self-sufficient in food production, or would be if stuff was immediately consumed on a proximity locality basis. As if you read stuff and look around, you'll find food exports going out from countries that aren't entirely food self-sufficient, and food imports coming in to countries that are well beyond food self-sufficient. The reason for which being is that agricultural products are part of the market. So farmers and farming groups and even farming industries sell their product or their harvest to the greater distributors, who then sell and ship it to whoever the next bidder in line for it is on the market listing. So that's why you'll see some stuff that might not initially make sense. But anyways, this tier of the list begins with India, as India has one of the highest concentrations of fertile, productive land on Earth, compared to like total share of its country landmass, enough that it falls into this category even with a population close to 1.4 billion. South Africa is also in this category. Sweden comes in here as well. Laos is also here, along with the next wave of African nations, including Mali, Ethiopia, Uganda, Burundi, and Zimbabwe. Ethiopia already pushing at its limits. Then from here we move downward into import-dependent nations, the first category of which, the gray category, where they're not dangerously dependent on imports, only somewhere around like 10 or 20%. The first on this list being China, with a population size similar to India and more than double India's size. China, however, actually has much less fertile, agriculturally productive land. You'll also find the Philippines and Indonesia on this level, as well as Nigeria now. Nigeria was roughly self-sufficient, but its maximum capacity for remaining so was probably right around 200 million, whereas their population now is over 220 million. Turkey is now here as well. Some other parts of Europe fall in here as well. The UK, Spain, Slovenia, Belarus. Turkmenistan comes in here also. A huge chunk of Africa comes in here also. Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Niger, Chad, Central African Republic, South Sudan, DRC Congo, or the Giant Congo, Angola, and Tanzania. Although parts of this, like a trick question, are also a trick image you will see at the very end. Bangladesh comes in here also, Bolivia comes in here, and then from there we move one category down into orange. We have countries whose food import dependency at levels exceeding 20%, up to around 50%. Once you cross 50, you enter into the red category, which we'll get to later. But the roughly 20 to 50% import dependency category includes Mexico. You will also find Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, and Ecuador at this level. And over in Europe, you'll find Portugal and Italy here, along with also Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, Bosnia, Albania, Macedonia, and Greece. And then the next giant wave of African nations, you get Egypt, Sudan, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Rwanda, Mozambique, and Madagascar. And then also Sri Lanka, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, New Zealand way down there, or however much of New Zealand I actually included on the map, Iran and Syria, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Afghanistan, all three of the Caucasus nations, Sakartvelo, or Georgia as people commonly know it, Armenia and Azerbaijan, and Tunisia and Morocco over in northern Africa. From there, you move on to nations whose food import dependency levels are crippling, at over 50% dependency. Such nations for a start include Libya, Algeria, Mauritania, and should-be-free Western Sahara, the entire Arabia Peninsula plus formerly Fertile Crescent, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, the UAE, Oman and Yemen, Israel and Cyprus, Switzerland and Montenegro, Iceland and Ireland, Eritrea, Djibouti, Somaliland and Somalia, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Small Congo, Namibia, Botswana, the remainder of South America, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Chile, Honduras, Costa Rica, Panama, the Caribbean islands, plus the Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cabo Verde off the coast of Africa, then Malaysia, East Timor, Papua New Guinea, and basically all the Oceania islands. Then you end up with the secret real map, where you get some nations into the food self-sufficiency abyss, those nations being, now you will probably see a common theme, at least across most of them, that being that most of them, for some time especially, have been rife with civil war and internal conflict, and or massive terrorist insurgencies at the same time. But so there you go, there's the final version of the map, or the secret real version, and thusly that's it for this one. So thank you everybody for sticking around and listening. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already. PayPal and Patreon are down there if you want to support me, only do so if you actually can. You can also go subscribe to my cat's channel, help us get her up to 1,000 subs before the deadline in November or December. But no matter what happens to me, may God bless and protect you all, and I will see you all around next time.